Today we're going to talk about news involving the Disney Cruise Line.
Hey guys, it's KJ,
John,
and Winnie from Disney Mom Life. Welcome to our channel. If you like today's video, please
give it a thumbs up,
hit that subscribe button,
ding that notification bell,
and leave us a comment. And John, what are we going to talk about today?
Today we're going to talk about news involving the Disney Cruise Line.
Disney Cruise Line recently put out some information about how the cruises may change moving forward. People who are going on cruises or supposed to go on cruises later this year were given a survey, and based on that survey a lot of information has been circulating, so we thought we would share with you what we found. Just like in the parks, a lot of things are going to look differently on Disney Cruise Line moving forward if cruise lines do indeed start cruising again anytime soon. One of the things that will be changing moving forward with the Disney Cruise Line are temporarily suspending the deck parties.
So this would be when Disney has their pirate night, there would be no deck party at that time. And similar to the parks, close interactions with characters would be temporarily suspended, so they're not happening at the moment.
Not sure how this would look on a cruise ship. We're guessing similar to how it is in the parks, where the characters would be somewhere behind you and you can take selfies. The ships are not nearly as big as the parks, so maybe there will be less characters. Who knows? But it will definitely be something different. So we've heard that the ship's overall capacity would be limited, but in addition, it seems like things on the ship are also going to be limited. So the kids club will be limited capacity, and something else that the Disney Cruise Line has said, the nurseries on the Disney Cruise Line may just be temporarily suspended altogether. So if you have a little one like us, a child that is from the ages of 0 to 3, then you would not be able to put your babies in the nursery. The kids club, it seems, will still be open, but again at a limited capacity.
One of the other major changes is that once you get to a port destination, you will not be able to do any excursions that aren't booked directly through Disney. So if you're on a cruise that is sailing to somewhere like Nassau, you won't be able to do any excursions once you get there. You won't be able to leave the ship unless you book something through Disney as far as excursions for the day.
Something else that may be changing with the Disney Cruise Line are later embarkation times. It was not specified what those times could be. I know that if you are someone who is a regular cruiser, you get to go on the boat much earlier. If you're someone who's brand new, you might not be able to go on until 2, 3 o'clock. But if the times are later, then the people who are the 10 cruises or more kind of people, they might not be getting on till like 3 o'clock, and then if you're newbies, you might not be getting on till, who knows, 8 o'clock? We have no idea.
Yeah, I can only guess has something to do with having to space people apart, so checking them in, everything takes longer in this world. We can't have people on top of each other as you're trying to check them in, so I'm guessing that's part of why everything's been kind of spaced out and pushed back. Even with the reduced capacity, you just can't have people on top of each other waiting to check into the boat. And
if you can't get on the boat early anymore, are you going to be able to have lunch at cabanas? And speaking of cabanas, the buffets will certainly look a little bit different as well. There will be servers serving you. You won't be able to go up to the buffet by yourself and just serve yourself. That's not a huge change, but it is a change. And it
changed to me.
Yeah, John can't go up and like serve himself like crazy. Maybe it's a good thing. But there is some intimidation, I think, if you go to a buffet and you can't self-serve. It's like, oh, can I have a little more? Can I have a little more? So,
yeah.
I mean, it does change things.
Yeah, there was that, and then I also wanted to know if the self-serve ice cream is still self-serve. That we haven't really heard about, but I'm guessing if you can't self-serve yourself at a buffet, I mean, I guess the only difference would be is everyone is handling the same spoons in the trays, but I guess everyone's also touching the same
knob, yeah.
Yeah, for the soft-serve. So.
Again, even though these ships will have limited capacity, other things will have limited capacity, like the pools. So if you were planning to go to the pool, it will be a limited capacity. So if we were going with another couple, then maybe we would be able to go and they wouldn't. And it's possible that you would be giving a certain time frame.
A certain time frame, and perhaps also a certain allotment of time that you're allowed to be there.
So maybe you had an excursion booked for a day, but you also wanted to go to the pool, or maybe you wanted to get a late breakfast or whatever. If your pool time doesn't line up with that, then it basically sounds like you're just really gonna have to schedule your day without really going with the flow. For us, we're planners, so maybe that wouldn't be so bad for us, but other people really like to go with the flow, so for them it might be a big change or something they really don't like. Disney Cruise Line also mentioned that the number of entertainment options would also be limited. It could be that there's no more trivia, maybe there's no more karaoke, or maybe there's no more silent dance parties. But if you're not waiting in line to see characters and you're not allowed to go to the pool whenever you feel like. I'm wondering where they're gonna put people on the boat. Are you just gonna be hanging out in your room?
Disney used to have matinees for all the shows, so maybe they'd bring that back just to kind of spread out entertainment across the duration of the sailing. Something else that might be changing, they might be bringing virtual queues to the ships. That would include the popular slides like the aqueduct. You would have to reserve times to slide. So that would be a big change from what currently is like you just get online and wait your turn.
Yeah, I actually could see this as a positive thing as long as it lines up with your pool time, which is something else you would have to have a virtual queue for or sign up for a certain slot, because it would really be a huge bummer if your aqueduct time was, say, like 10 o'clock in the morning and your pool time wasn't until like 2 to 4. So otherwise, though, I think that might not be a bad idea even in a post-COVID world, because then you just know when you can get on the slide without having to wait. So I don't think that's a horrible thing. Again, as long as it lines up with your pool time.
Yeah, and I'm guessing if the slide is not being used a lot for whatever reason, that they would just have a lot of open time slots. Earlier we talked about a schedule of the time that you can board the boat. Well, the same is true when you reach port cities that you're going to disembark at. You have to set up a time for when you want to get off the boat and start your excursions on those particular islands.
So if you're going to Castaway Cay and you want to get off the boat early and have your full day there, well, you might not be able to if you're not one of the first people in those time slots. I think the bigger question is, how are they going to do this? Is it going to be first come, first served? Is it going to be similar to how if you're a platinum, gold, silver member on the cruise lines, will it work that way if you're brand new? So it will just be interesting to see how Disney decides to do that moving forward.
That brings up an interesting dilemma, though. If you are a first-time cruiser, I wonder if this would be the time to test it out, because wouldn't you want to try it out when everything's kind of operating the way it normally would? I'm not so sure if this would be the time if you haven't done it before. If you're a kind of a veteran to it and you know what you like, this could be fine because there'll be less people on the boat. You already know what you like. You don't have to kind of figure it out as you go. But if you're doing it for the first time, I could picture this being challenging and slightly annoying, you know? I think you'd want to be able to just kind of experience things as you go through the ship.
And the final thing that Disney may be doing differently moving forward on the Disney Cruise Line is that guests will have to book things in advance. Things like the shows, the movies, kids clubs, all those things will have to be booked in advance. Again, don't know if this is the worst thing, because at least you have an idea of what time slot you're going to be in. So if you're like us, planners, you might like it. If you're more go with the flow people, then maybe you won't. So trying to see the pros and cons to everything. I don't know, like John said, if you're a first-time cruiser, if you'd want to go, if you have to wear a mask on the ship. I mean, those would be some interesting tan lines. Just like with the Disney resorts on Disney World property, you do not have to wear a mask going in the pool, but Disney has been changing the mask rules within the parks because of things like food and wine. You have to now be stationary when you're eating or drinking, so maybe when you're at the pools, you can only take off your mask when you're in the water. So that does it for our Disney news this week. We did another Disney cruise news for you. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please
give it a thumbs up,
hit that subscribe button,
ding that notification bell,
and leave us a comment. And with that, we will see you real soon. Bye.
See you at the park or on the boat.
I'm such a whiny winnie until mom and dad are done.
What you doing, Wayne? You slept and you ate. Why are you whining?
What's the matter? Are you sad about the cruise?
Are you happy with Dada? Okay, but and look, here's your Disney book. Do you want your Disney book? You want your Disney book while we do a video? So we've heard that the ships. Why are you so whiny? Why are you such a whiny winnie? Why are you such a whiny winnie?